In the last part of the tutorial, or the first part of the tutorial, we focused on the main body of this Muzen Outdoor Speaker. We started also with some details like the volume knob with curl and this older one, and now in today's part I hope to complete the modeling part, adding all the details here, like the knobs there, the switches, the flashlight which is on top, as well as this speaker plastic part and all the screw around. Okay, so I realized that this part here is a little bit too small compared to this one, and this will hold also a hole for the screw as well as this one. So let's correct it. We will go in face mode, mark the first one, face, and then with Control pressed click on this one so that everything in between will be selected. Then scale Y 0. This doesn't work. I don't know why. Scale Y 0. Now it works. To make this part flat, and then changing to H mode, C for painting selection, and we can select everything in between, just not the edge here, the one which is a support edge, and this one, and then Control X to dissolve them, and then select those one edges, scale X in my case a little bit wider, Control B, and then C for clamp overlap, and scroll your mouse wheel to get around 14 segments. And then, as already seen in the previous tutorial, there is a double edge here where the clamp or the edges are clamping, and for this we can choose M or press M, and by distance, and you will see two vertices are removed, this one on the top and this one on the bottom. Okay, so it looks good for me now. And then we will choose in face mode this face, Shift S, cursor to selected. We will add a cylinder, and I always use around 100 vertices just in order to have a high resolution object. I'm not fond of low poly models, but it's up to you how many vertices you want to have, how blocky your model want to be. I love high resolution, and I don't care about resolution, as these are not model that I will use in some game engine or whatever. It's just only production, 3D production for product marketing or whatever. So it can be on high resolution. So right click, shade smooth, go on top view with 7 on the numpad and put that in the middle of this object. So I have eyeballed this. Let me see. Yeah. Scale in Z. GZ to have the whole part here covered. Control A. Apply scale and rotation. And with this cutter selected, Shift click to select the object, Control minus on the numpad in order to have the cut. And then it's okay for me, so I can apply this boolean. I don't need it anymore. And I will go into edit mode and maybe change a little bit the geometry of this one, because this will have some impact on bevel that I will apply on this overshooting. So it is quite important to get those connections perpendicular to the object so that the bevel is not overshooting here. For this, I can go into vertex mode, K for the knife, pointing to this vertex here, and then drag it out around here. Enter to make the cut, and then select this edge and press Ctrl X to dissolve it. Okay, then we will select this edge, Ctrl B, scroll down to one segment to have chamfer here. Looks good to me. And we will model this screw too. That's not so crazy to do that. And for this, I will choose this edge, Shift D to duplicate, right click to without any move to confirm the duplication, P and selection, go out of the object mode and then select just only this edge that we have created now. Go into vertex mode, click A to select everything, F to fill, and you see that this is on a red, and this is because I have here face orientation where it is here enabled, and this will show me everything, every normals that is inverted. So I click Shift N in face mode, Shift N, it doesn't help, flip, Alt N and flip, and now my normals are looking in the right direction. Then I will scale it a little bit, just a teeny one, extrude down, and now I have to select everything with A, Shift N to correct the normals again. We can enable X-ray with Alt Z to see through. Looks good to me. Disable Alt X, and now mark this face, Shift S, cursor to selected to have the 3D cursor in the middle of this object. Add a cube, scale down the cube, to make this screw scale in Y-axis around this. It's maybe a little bit too deep. GZ with this, Control A, apply rotation and scale, select the cutter, Shift select the object, Control minus to have it cut it out, and then reveal the cutter here, and I think this is the one that I need. Yes. Okay, select it, and then select this edge, this one, and this one. Control B, add some segments with the scroll mouse. I think 8 should be enough. Control object mode, and hide the cutters again, and we have a little bit of bevel in it. That's okay. Perfect. So let's continue with the flashlight here. That's this part. Oh no, we have also to make some holes here. So 7 on the numpad to have the view from top. Add another cylinder here with 100 and change the radius about this one, GY, to move it out here. Looks good to me. Scale Z. I don't want to have that hole so deep. GZ, just to have the screw inside. Right click, shade smooth, 7 for top view, Shift D to duplicate it and move it here perfectly. The cutter selected, Shift click the object, Control minus to have a differential boolean. Same here, select, Shift select, Control minus, so that I have the 2 holes. And then I need also a support here, and I will apply those 2 booleans, this one and this one. So let's apply them. We don't need them anymore. And then I will mark this edge, Shift D, right click, P, selection, go out in object mode, select this one. Yeah, then go into front view, GZ to move it down. So I bolt here. Go in vertex mode, press A to select everything, extrude Z, and then we can extrude it. And we have to move a little bit to see. And GZ again, just until the cylinder is intersecting with the other object. And go out. We see that the normals are inverted, so we have to select everything in edit mode and Shift N to change the normal direction. That's OK to me. Right click, Auto Smooth on the support of the holder. It's already done. We don't need to solidify it. It is just a cylinder for holding this piece. Okay. So let's make the flashlight. For this I create another cylinder. Go into top view and move the cylinder in the Y direction. Scale it. About this value. Do not go too far, too near to this line here, because we will add a bevel there, and there will be some impacts if you are touching this edge here. Scale Z. Just to make it a little bit smaller. Then go into the front view or right view and move it down just a little bit so that it will be inside the main body. Right click, Auto Smooth. It's okay for me. Control A, apply scale and rotation. And with this one clicked, shift click the body, and then Control plus on the numpad to union this one. Looks good. And now we have to model the rubber or the cover here. And for this I have to apply the union boolean. That's this one. Apply it so that I can select this face. Shift D, right click without moving. P to separate the selection. Choose the one that I have duplicated now. And scale. So press S and Shift Z just to scale, Shift S just to constrain to the XY axis, and this is happening because my orientation is there in the middle of the main case, so I have to move the orientation in the middle of this object. For this Shift S, reach into geometry, and now we can scale S, Shift Z to constrain to the XY axis, and then scale a little bit out. That's okay for me. Move a little bit in the Z axis, and now in face mode, select and extrude down just like this one. Alt A to select everything, and Shift N to convert the normals. That's good to me. / on the num block to isolate. Select this face and Shift select the face below. I for inset, just like this. And then we can connect or cut it out just with one command. For this, press Ctrl F for the face menu, and no, it's not Ctrl F, I'm sorry, Ctrl E for the H menu, and click on Bridge H Loops. So the two faces are connected together, and we have a ring. Then with / on the numpad, go out of the isolation mode, and now in top view you have to check if cavity is turned on. Sometimes Blender is disabling cavity because of a bug or whatever, so that I see better the other edge. So turn on cavity and then scale it just to touch the object below. That's good to me. And now we have to implement a chamfer here inside as well as outside. So in edge mode, select the whole ring, Ctrl B, scroll down your mouse wheel until you get a decent amount of chamfer. Then mark the whole ring here, and with Shift click this one, and also Ctrl B to add a little bit of chamfer there. And here I see that my base here is too tiny. So let us Ctrl Z once to get one step back, change to the face mode, and Alt left mouse click on this edge to mark the whole face ring, and then Alt S to scale it out just that amount, and then in edge modus mark these two edge ring and Ctrl B and chamfer with one segment on it. Looks good to me. And now we have to model this part, and yeah, I will do the same as the other older. So Ctrl 3 to get on the back right side or on the left side. Then go into edit mode, this is the middle, I would choose, yeah, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is enough. Shift click on this one, control click on this one to get everything in between. Shift click on this one, control click on this one to have all selected, and then extrude X to extrude it out, scale X 0 on the numpad to make it flat, and then scale Y in that way. That's good to me. And now in edge modus, let's select with C all these edges that we don't need. Right click to confirm, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, and shift, shift, shift also those one. Control X to dissolve the edges, mark those two, Control B, because our clamp overlap is still active, we can work on it, or if it's overshooting like this, then you have to press again C for the clamp overlap, and then add around 10 segments until you see here there are two edges overlapping, and to remove them we don't need two on the same point. Press M by distance and you will see Blender has removed the one edges or two vertices. Perfect. So if we are looking from the side, we have to move everything a little bit down. Yeah, GZ. As well as this one, GZ, I think, like this, so that the holder bottom part is at the same height as the body, and then making a hole, a screw hole here too. This one 7 for top view. Where is my 3D cursor? Here. It doesn't matter. Add a cylinder, move it here, scale a little bit, move again, I think it's okay for me, GZ around this, shade smooth, and then shift select, control minus to cut it out, and that's okay for me. This could be a little bit thicker, I think. And for this, In face mode, Alt left click on one of the segments to choose the ring, as well as this one, Z to move it up a little bit, and then select this one, GZ2, to have a better chamfer there, and looks okay to me. Okay, so we have 30 minutes now. I think we will perhaps model this one now. For this, I will choose this face, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then add a cylinder. And this cylinder could be let's say 18 vertices. I think we have to try it. Rotate here 90 degrees in Y. Change the radius. 3 on the numpad to go in the right view. Move it out. Scale it a little bit more. I think there is good enough. Move a little bit in the Y-axis. Ctrl A, apply scale and rotation, and then Shift N to change the normal direction. And now let's see. I think we are selecting every 2 one. I have to try. We can isolate it with the flash forward on the numpad. Select every second one. That's okay. Then on the side view with 3 on the numpad, scale it to get such a star. So, and now Ctrl B for bevel. Scroll down to one segment to get this one. And then with Alt, Control and click, you can choose the whole ring amount. Control B, and then bevel it just a little bit with 6 segments. Control right click, shade auto smooth, and you have that button. I think 18 is a little bit too much, but what's up? I think it's okay. We see some artifacts there, but you can add here a modifier called white and normal. Yeah, It's not that good, but we can select this face. I don't know why this is. I know that there is maybe, yes, there is one face there. I don't know why, but anyway, we can let me see if this has some impact. Yeah, it looks so. So let's delete this weight and normal modifier. We don't need that. We just choose this face. I for inset. Inset. We can inset just a little bit, and this face we don't need that, it is in the background. So okay to me. Go back out of the isolation with /3, and then let's create, let's put the 3D cursor there with Shift S cursor to selected. Let's create a cylinder with 100 vertices. Rotate 90 degrees in the Y axis to get this cut out. Scale a little bit, I think it's enough. Right click, shade smooth. Then go in face mode, Alt Z to X-ray it. Choose these two faces, the bottom and the top face. Let go out of the X-ray mode. I for inset, that's too much. Maybe just a little bit this ring. Control E, bridge edge loops. That's perfect. Let's see from the side. That's okay for me. And now with this selected, Shift select the button, Control minus, and we have that part. And I can apply this boolean now. We don't need that anymore. Select this face, Control B, and then with 10 segments, just bevel it a little bit, as well as this one. This segment, Control B, scroll down the mouse to one segment just to have a chamfer here. Perfect. We can also put a bevel here, Control B, and just give them six segment perhaps. That's enough, and it looks great. Okay, so I think I will call it done for today. We need a third part for this button, the screws, and some other details. this attachment pipe here, but I think we will go through the next part, the third part. So I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any question, please write them to me in my channel so that I can answer your questions. Have a good day and enjoy the session. Thanks. Bye bye.